And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Put your thumbs up and say it's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, Tickety Boo, everything's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, son. Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo.
Welcome to Tickety Boo, the podcast with unscripted conversations from people who've lived it. I'm Andy Griffiths, and alongside Iona Russell and Ian Young, we're three working therapists, but more than that, we're three humans trying to make sense of life just like everyone else's. In each episode, we talk honestly about our own experiences with mental health, with relationships, fear, growth, all the stuff that we don't always say out loud. We're not here to fix you, we're here to make you feel less alone and maybe give you a few things to think about along the way. And in today's episode, we're talking about rest, or more accurately, why it feels impossible, why sitting still feels like failure, and how your nervous system might be mistaking calm for danger. I know at times it's something that I struggle with. So Ian, I'm going to fire it straight at you. How do you feel when you properly try to relax? Not like how you were supposed to feel. What happens to you when you switch off and just relax and do nothing?
Well, for me, that's a gradual process. Normally, when I actually stop and decide it's time to relax, I get like this instant download of things that I haven't done, need to do. and then, yeah.
So part of you goes, I'm ready to switch off. Oh, here's a list of things that now need done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Iona, what happens for you?
It's been a process over the years and over the decades, and definitely part of where I've been in these last few months. I actually find that being calm is being relaxing, and it's not the absence of doing, but it's being present. So it's not like I'm trying to relax and it means I can't do anything. It's being present with what I'm doing is how I can relax. So like sometimes it can be choosing an activity to relax. Like I do morning pages, so I journal in the morning, just like free flow. It's going for a walk and being present so that I can relax, not thinking about all the things and then like frog marching, which isn't very relaxing, but actually being present, noticing where I'm walking, what I can hear. So it's been something I've worked on, but also I do have a meditation practice that I do sometimes more times than others. So I find relaxing calm.
I find relaxing, truly relaxing, difficult.
Yeah.
I'm better at active rest.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is if I just go like, oh, tomorrow I'm just going to get up, take the day at my own pace. I've got nowhere I need to be, nothing I need to do. So I'll sit there with a coffee and maybe I've taken the dogs for a walk, and then I'll sit there and my brain goes, we need to mop the floor. We need to do that. That drawer needs sorting out. We need to reply to that email. We need to do this. And I'm compiling a mental list. And then I'm starting to get stressed and agitated. So I then go through to the kitchen and tidy something up. And before I know it, I'm into something. I'm not one of these at the moment that can get to the lie down, light some candles and just zone out. And I know it's something I need to get better at doing because I know how important it is, but I am a great believer in what I call active rest, where I can take the dogs on a nice slow walk or sit and read a book for 10 minutes or listen to some music or something like that.
So because wasn't the question, it was about how we
don't know how
are
to
when we
relax. Yeah,
so whether it's active relaxing or not, you're still relaxing. So I think it's not about the absence of doing nothing. We're not trying to talk about meditation and mindfulness per se, but it's the act of relaxation. It's just you're being present.
Well, for me, like holidays are a good example. Like I'm not long back from a 2-week holiday. It took me 12 days to get to the point of where I felt I'd relaxed into it, if that kind of makes sense. If I go on a week's holiday, I'm not at the point where I need to be at in order to feel like I've got to that place of relaxation, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
The wind down for me is not as quick as I would like it to be.
I'm better at that now.
Yeah.
But what stops me, to be honest, is that bleeding thing in my pocket, that phone. For me, it's the temptation to look at it. If I'm sat on the sofa, I'll look at Facebook or social media, or just as Louise starts to nod off, I'll put Wordle in front of her face and say, "What do you think this is?" But then again, if I'm on a holiday and it's sat there next to me on the sun lounger, it's a constant thing in my head to pick it up and look at the screen and see if anybody at work needs something, or is something going wrong. Because in my tiny little world, no one can cope without me. As it turns out, they're absolutely fine. But
So do you think at some kind of level we're kind of guilty of, we feel our value comes from when we're doing something?
Yes, the myth of productivity means that we're worthy and worthwhile and important.
And somehow if we're not doing something, we're failing, guilt kicks in, we're slipping back, we're not delivering at some kind of level.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, with the Facebook and like all those social media apps, like I don't take them off my phone because I run my business from them. However, what I've done is I've put them in a folder like right on like the 4th or 5th screen, so if I want to get to it, I can't see any there's no notifications. I actually have to pick up my phone and actively scroll through, and I have no sounds that go off. Like I go and check it, and then my phone and I have set times when my phone goes to silent, because otherwise I can pick up and doom scroll like the rest of them. Like I've had to do those limits so that I can relax, so that my peace isn't disturbed, and I can have that morning coffee and not check the phone the first thing in the morning, which was a big thing for me to break in order to relax, is not to have the phone on hand.
So is it more of a case of, it's not that we can't relax, but we're not removing the distractions and hurdles from our environment that get in the way of it?
I think it's a habit, the same as vaping or smoking. Having your phone next to you, it's an addiction. You keep picking up and looking at it. And I think because of this constant connectivity that we've got, we feel as if we're on 24-hour call, because people can contact us at any point. We feel that we have to be there to receive it. Whereas we used to have periods of work and periods of rest, and now that's all a big blurred mess now. It doesn't seem, they don't...
Yeah, so like anxiety gets mistaken for ambition.
Yeah. Oh well, that happens all the time. Now we're in a strange country, strange world where people wear anxiety as a badge of honour. Oh, I'm so anxious, I'm so stressed, because they think that translates into them working hard and being productive.
To drive, yeah.
But now when people look at me and say that, I just go,
so
well done. It's not.
Are we really saying that sometimes we're terrified of what will come up if we go quiet?
That's a slightly different conversation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do this. I know exactly where you're going to. And where we're going to with this bit is busy hands, quiet mind. And that is why a lot of people don't relax and don't want it to go quiet, because then the only person that you're left in your own company on what you've got going on in your own head. So by constantly distracting yourself, you're not actually having to face the stuff that's waiting to be processed for you.
I like that analogy, busy hands, quiet mind, but I think a lot of us have took it out of context.
Yes.
In that busy hands, quiet mind can be reading a book, doing a puzzle, drawing, journaling,
Going to the gym,
going to the gym, walking the dog. It's not working your arse off. Or striving. I mean, I agree. For me personally, I have one of those brains that when I want to stop and do nothing, it wants to get busy. But actually, if I give it a book or some music or something creative or outside space like nature, it's kind of content-ish. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. But
That's a huge change to. I remember us having a similar conversation like years ago.
Yeah,
and that wasn't even happening.
No, that took me a good while to get there. Don't get me wrong; it could be better, but it's a lot better than it was. But sometimes I find rest actually goes in the opposite way for me. It actually frustrates me. I feel agitated, almost like I'm doing this because that's what I should be doing, which really shows me that actually in my life I'm not factoring enough space for active rest.
Yeah. Is that because you're treating it like a job? You're treating it like
a
another
reward.
job? Yeah.
It needs to be earned. I've not done enough to earn a rest.
I'm like that. On a Saturday or a Sunday, I have to do something productive Like I'll go clean the cars, mow the lawn. It doesn't have to be all day. It doesn't have to be long. But I want to do a chore so that then I can sit
and not feel guilty.
Almost guilt-free, yeah. And that, for me personally, that actually makes I shouldn't have to do it because I take out the fact that I've just worked like
all week,
dog,
really
like
hard,
non-stop all week.
Yeah.
So on top of all that, I feel that I don't deserve a rest until I've mowed the lawn or picked up the dog mess or whatever, and that's ridiculous.
I find mowing the lawn restful and relaxation because I love the walking up and down. It's so away from anything else I would normally do because I'm somebody who has spent a lot of my time busy being busy or taking a really long time to do stuff. So like I love mowing the lawn. It's one of my favourite things to do. So it's not something I've ever
That's your active rest.
That's active rest for me. I'll come round to your house Tuesday.
You're more than welcome.
Maybe you just need AstroTurf.
Yeah. Maybe. But I think some of it is I live in a house with 4 adults. I'm still emptying the bin, still loading the dishwasher, still mowing the lawn, and so I'm still finding reasons to just.
But in that, are we punishing ourselves as well, some way? Because we deserve it as much as everybody else does.
I just don't think that we maybe prioritise it in the way that maybe other people do. Like the Spanish, they have siestas. They actually ritualise some form of relaxation. So maybe that's what we should do.
Do you think the culture certainly in the UK is not conducive of relaxing?
Yeah. We live in a world that's full of hustle, and it's so difficult just to get by. Your mind can't, you're under so much pressure. It's not like it once was. I mean, that might be wrong looking back at the world through, rose-tinted glasses, but it just seems like it's non-stop. There's always something that's either pulling at your time or just financially, just trying to get by.
Yeah, you can't. Stopping, relaxing is time where you could be earning to secure your position.
And actually something I've found, because I've had to incorporate more rest over the decades and certainly over the years and recently, I'm actually more productive in the time that I allow. Like I've been really selective in like work hours and what I'm doing. Like I'm very hardly on social media at the moment. I can actually accomplish a lot more by actually slowing down to speed up, they call it. Or it's like
do less to achieve more.
Yeah, and it's really because I've been so overwhelmed and so stressed these last 2 years, I've recognised the burnout, and so it's doing anything I can to support my nervous system is absolutely crucial because like I'm turning 55 soon, and I don't want to pop my clogs anytime soon. Thank you very much. So like, what can I do to improve my quality of life and keep going? So yeah, I'm consciously implementing a lot to support my nervous system because I fried myself out a couple of months ago.
Well, as I refer to it, one of you said it earlier about we kind of use productivity doing as like an emotional shield.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I used to do. I mean, my son used to send me to bed like when I was writing my first book and I was re-editing it. Like I would quite often sit there for 15 hours and he's like, I was a teenager and be like, it's 11 o'clock, you really should go to bed. I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm just at this thing. I am somebody who gets into like intense hyper-focus and flow. But yeah, he was right. That's not healthy, staying up until that time of night, just doing the thing. Yeah. So you've got to be, because it can become addictive. I'm just doing this thing. The deadline will...
Always on.
It's always on. And yeah, something I've learned over these last 2 years with all the loss is I've had moments where I actually couldn't keep doing the things. So I had to like really check in with my own nervous system. And does it bring me peace? Which is what we've talked about, a couple of episodes.
Yeah, and it's massively important because we need to train the nervous system to be at peace. Ian, you said something, it was along the lines of rest is actually the thought of doing rest puts you in that space of having to feel the things that you've been avoiding.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. To sit in that space and sit in whatever comes up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever just comes up from the past or needs processing. It's weird what comes into your head. It's just it's like that out of tune radio at the back of the head. You don't know what's going to come into your head, but sometimes when it does, it's uncomfortable, makes you cringe, and if you've got a lot of stuff to process, it's not a comfortable spot to be.
So we've either got stuff coming up that we've been running away from, which is like trying to outrun your own shadow, or, which I can really relate to, is guilt. The guilt of doing nothing.
I have no guilt.
That's a
But I've
lovely.
worked on
Listen,
that. I've worked on
that is
that.
a great place to be
Yeah.
because I'm not talking like burn the house down levels of guilt. I'm talking like there's just a little poke of like you really should be getting this done or sorting that out or.
For me, there always seems to be some kind of distraction that seems to be going on at the same, whether it's doom scrolling or just listening to a podcast or something. I mean,
Can I ask you both a question?
Yeah.
Have you? So we've talked about how difficult it has been, particularly for both of you, to relax, and we've touched on peace. Have either of you had a moment in time where you've been, yes, I was peaceful? Like, do you recognise what peace is?
100%.
Cool.
Because for me, it's fleeting moments. I think I talked on a previous episode of the podcast where I was out walking the dogs and I'd stopped and they were running around and I just heard the birds singing and the trees rustling and part of me just went, this is fantastic. But it felt like it was over within a couple of minutes. It was like, right, finish the walk off.
It's fleeting.
It's fleeting. Yeah.
I definitely get fleeting moments. Now, one of mine, it sounds, I'm old and sad, but I've got a bird feeder outside, doors into the garden. And I like watching the birds on there while I have my coffee. I'm alone in the morning, the first one up. And I like that. And now and again, there's a green woodpecker and a red woodpecker that will just turn
wow.
up.
Red.
And they're absolutely and when they do show up, it's I love it. But that's one of the things that just takes me away. And I sit there. I mean, obviously sitting there with the news or something on isn't that restful, but just sitting there,
Yeah.
that little moment.
There's nothing like that on TikTok or Facebook that's going to.
No.
I get it here, open in the centre. When I come in and open up in the mornings, there's a robin sat on the handrails, and you can get dead close. And sometimes I just find myself stopping at the end of the path for just a few minutes, just to take it in, and the trees and the park behind the place.
I love that you have both actually mentioned being in nature, walking or seeing birds for both of you. And it's actually, like, psychologically, it's proven that even if we can't be in nature, listening to nature sounds actually relaxes us, relaxes our nervous system. And it's so important. So even, like, if our listeners go, oh, well, it's fine for you, I don't have a bird feeder, or it's fine, you have dogs, I live in a flat. But just for our listeners, it is actually proven. There's research on it. I can't quote it right now. But yeah, like, you can bring these practices, because I'm wondering how each of you and our listeners can bring more of what those peaceful practices into our lives that aren't necessarily about doing peace and trying to relax, but actually are the things that bring you peace.
Yeah, and I think we can probably all relate to this. See, the last day I took off with the intention of relaxing, do you know what I did?
What?
I reorganised my spare room, I defrosted the freezer, and I painted a skirting board. And I kid myself that that's active relaxation. Is it?
No.
It's worse than working, isn't it?
Chores.
Really?
That's hilarious.
Sure.
Yeah. The problem's the other way around, is that not structuring my days and time well enough so I can do those things and not compromise my active rest periods and do them then, if that kind of makes sense. I need to get better at making space in my life to do those things.
That's a really good point. Managing
Yeah.
the time and your own expectations. That's the thing. Most of the time, everybody's happy with what we've achieved, but we've set such ridiculous expectations for ourselves. When we don't achieve it, we're then battering ourselves. So that's...
Well, you show me someone that says, I don't have time to rest. I'll say, show me your screen time on social media across the week.
I was about to say that. I've got somebody that I've offered... I know I can help her, but I've offered her said I'll make space for you, make time. And she's so busy. She genuinely said that she can't find an hour over the course of a fortnight because she's so busy. And I'm thinking, well, okay, well that's probably a choice to do so, but if you can't, but then you look on Facebook and then the green light comes on, and you look at how much time she spends on social media. The choice could have been to take an hour out and have all that anxiety sort of work.
So why are they choosing not to do that?
Well, I take it as an active choice. So, it's not for you. That's fine. But she's so tightly compressed and packed in. She's put herself under so much pressure.
But you say she couldn't find an hour. I had a client who, I think 5 years ago or something, and she was anxious, she was overwhelmed. They'd also relocated to the UK. They had a lot going on. Her and her husband, they had young children. And I was just asking her, okay, can you just do 3 conscious breaths in the morning? Like as soon as you wake up, open your eyes, before you get up and do all the things. And she literally sent me a message like, no, I haven't got time for that. I'm like, it's just 3 breaths. I'm like, even if you do it in the shower. She's like, I haven't got time.
I haven't got time to
so
breathe. She's
just like, and I'm like, you're breathing anyway. I'm only asking you to slow down. But that's it. Like she was like, no, I don't have time to do that.
Because she's used to living in survival mode.
Yeah, and it was like just literally trying to get to slow down.
Well, that's it. You both just summed up that this lady I'm talking about, she's living in survival mode, and she's just telling herself that she can't stop. And it's insane, really. And this is one of the things that the reason that I've tried to find time for her is not to force therapy on her. But I always said that one of my regrets was not having the knowledge to spot what happened to Louise when she had a breakdown. And now I can see this coming. It's there, as clear as day, happening in front of you. And you try to intervene and sort of say something, but you just can't do it. Unfortunately, you've just got to let it play out.
Well, to these people, peace doesn't feel peaceful, does it?
No.
It feels alien, it feels unsafe. You actually need to learn that peace is a place of safety.
Particularly if they've never grown up in a peaceful environment or a calm environment, that messes with their nervous system. So the chaos and the busy, they think is actually relaxing.
Well, the bigger issue is most of us are addicted to our anxiety.
Yeah.
We don't know a life outside of it. We don't want to know a life outside of it. We all outwardly will go, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I need things to change. But we're addicted to it, just like chocolate, food, drugs, alcohol.
Yeah.
There's no way out of it.
Yep. How many people do we know that when life's going well and it's quiet,
They'll blow it up.
Yeah, they just have to find a way to blow it up. That's right.
Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? So, for people listening to this, are we saying that if you're not good at this, like any other skill, it's something you need to learn to do?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's no good or bad. It's a practice, and you get to learn and improve and incorporate more peace into your life.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, it works for me to go to the gym. So I go to the gym with a mate, talk rubbish, but that is,
Your
for me,
active rest.
active
Yeah.
rest.
Active rest.
So then I come home and I sit quite comfortably. On a Saturday, if I sit down and I'll sit in the garden, look at the lawn and go, that needs mowing, or I'll get in front of the TV and somebody will turn the hoover on. I'll look out the window and a bird will crap on the windscreen of me nice new clean car, and you just. But they're always, I don't know, there always seems to be something. So for me personally, active rests work for me, because in my house it's quite a busy house. Not everybody wants to relax at the same time. So as soon as I stop, somebody will do something.
It's probably true for a lot of our listeners, though, too, that they live
100%.
in busy households.
Yeah.
So we're kind of saying that relaxing isn't the absence of activity.
Yes.
It's actually just starting to believe that nothing bad's going to happen and I don't have to earn this.
Just being in the moment, just not having your mind going around it. My dad used to call it washing your brain. So, and I agree with that.
And maybe if this is alien to you, start with very small episodes of it.
And do you think it would hurt to actually tell people I'm taking a break for half an hour? As in, don't run the hoover around, don't come and ask me to load the dishwasher, just let me be. I just need half an hour.
I used to honestly do that when my son was younger, and I would say, I'm going to go and meditate. It wouldn't necessarily be meditation. Maybe I was going in there just to journal or to be by myself or to read. But I would actually hang something on the door handle, and just so that nobody would come and disturb me. I know that you're thinking
it's
something else,
funny. You've basically just led me to where I was going, in that I think as people, we are so used to having people on 24/7 availability through contact with technology. And the problem is we are constantly, unintentionally, car crashing into people's headspaces and lives through this new connectivity that we have in the world. I've got a client who's very busy, and when they're in the office, they have to put a sign up on the door going, "Do not disturb me for the next hour unless the building's on fire."
Yeah.
Because they go into their office to do a piece of work. Somebody walks in, somebody comes in for a chat, somebody says, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And all of those little interrupters are just enough to tip you off the path of the state of focus, you know, what you want to achieve.
Well, the state of flow.
Yeah. And, you know, especially in those early days when you're getting into this, any distraction will be, the brain will take that and go, let's just leave it till later on. So maybe sometimes you do need to take control of your environment and communicate. If there's people in your environment, don't do this for now. I need an hour. Or could you not do that so I can do this? Yeah. Be honest. If you know the stuff that rips you out of this space, do something about it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now, when we do, I mean, you wouldn't find me in an office. I'm unemployable, but I look at that from when we had young kids, and it was just non-stop. And there'll be a lot of mums and dads out there that are desperate for this just 10-minute space where you can't even get the loo without somebody banging on the door or have a bath. How would you go about that? You know.
Well, yeah, in those times you have to grab the moments when they can. What I say to my clients is these things, these periods of rest or active rest, need to go in your diary like dentist appointments. They're non-negotiable. They're not for moving. It's in there. I can't miss this. It's really important.
You've just knocked the nail on the head. It's people say, I'm going to have a relax, I'm going to have a chill, but it's never a priority because everybody else's stuff is higher on the list than yours.
Even
so the
my
first
phone,
thing to get bumped.
Actually, like I have it set that nobody can get hold of me between 8 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock in the morning. And my friends, like, they've left messages. I know you're not going to get this till tomorrow. So people know that actually, like, I'm not going to pick up. Like, I just don't. My son, you know, because with our smartphones, he could get through just in case there's an emergency. But yeah, like, and I've been really strict with that for a few years now.
I'm bad with this. You know, I've got rest scheduled and somebody rings me and they need something like, yeah. And I need to get better at going, no.
Yes,
Or
you do.
Using your advice, which is, I can do it on such and such a date, or I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you'll find that silence makes people think. It's like the other day, I had a conversation with one of my contractors. He was on his way home. It was getting late in the day, and I've tried to phone him because I said I would, but he didn't answer the phone. And then at that point, I did stop and think to myself, he's got a newborn baby, he's got a family, and it made me think, yeah. So I just sent him a message, not important, speak to you in the morning.
Yeah.
Really, I shouldn't even have sent him that. But his silence made me think, but what we always do is we pick up the phone and then just tell everybody that that's absolutely fine. Yeah. And, you know, you just give off the signal that you are a 24-hour...
Call centre.
Yep.
That's what we are now. We're human call centres, aren't we? You know, it's like trying to relax on the platform of Central Station in Glasgow at rush hour.
Yeah.
It's just that the stuff's coming in from the Hoover, the WhatsApp, the text message, the email, you know, the kids, the partner, and all the rest of it.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, when you check in, well, I know I'm bad. We have in bed we have a no business rule because me and Louise work together, socialise together, live together. So we have to have our bedroom is a work-free zone. That's the deal. But still, I'll pick up the phone and I'll look at my emails before I go to bed or before I go to relax, just that habitually, and there'll be something in there that's dropped that stresses the life out of me, it'll keep me awake all night.
I need to deal with this now.
Yeah. And in reality, if I deal with it now or in the morning, it make no difference.
I noticed it with my brother. Last time I was with him, he had a newspaper. I can't actually remember the last time I saw somebody reading a newspaper. And I went, why have you got a newspaper? And he went, it's because I'm so bad with my phone. I buy myself a newspaper now and I read that instead.
I used to love reading the paper on a Sunday morning with a fresh pot of coffee, actually.
And it's a way of him breaking the link with his electronic device. Rather than going, I need to go cold turkey and not do anything, reading the paper is a better solution than doing this. And he's picked a paper that sort of resonates with him, it's not too heavy.
Yeah.
I know your brother's at V's.
The Beano, yeah. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do nothing,
Well,
but
it's
I'll
just-
do something that's better. Than
Yeah,
what I'm
finding
doing at
a
the
new
moment.
habit or returning to an old habit.
Yeah, for me, I've recently, I used to read a lot and I fell away from it. Always tired and picking up books. I'm currently reading Ozzy Osbourne's autobiography.
Oh, that would be good.
Which is just utter brilliant. And actually, my active rest at that moment is get lost in somebody else's story for a bit because I get out of my own.
Yeah.
And, I might only do 4 or 5 pages. It's great. Reading for me
I love reading.
is a brilliant way of doing it. The thing is, when you see somebody reading a book, part of you goes, "Oh, better not disturb them."
Yeah. If so,
Library mentality. Shh.
Yeah. Well, I always used to bring, because I do a few track days, a little bit of racing. Not done it much recently, but what I'd always do is I always make sure that my bike was in the garage at Christmas, so as I could go out and service it and just take it apart, clean it, do whatever I'd do to it, because that was the best way of me taking my mind away from everything. And in the garage, that was my pure piece of peace.
Your haven.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Your
was.
little haven.
Yeah.
We need those, don't we? The little havens.
I would, but I'm not really going to do it. I've changed my garage into a therapy room, so the thought of doing an oil change in the middle of that is a bit
Yeah.
my therapy.
Yeah. But you need to create space, and I'm not talking about space in your life, a space
Yeah.
to go
definitely.
to go do this. So you need to have a plan and a strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important. One, relaxation. If it's alien to you, it's something you need to learn and practice, but also use tools. Listen to some of the things we've said to you in this episode to help you get a little bit better at it. As always, we really appreciate you listening to these episodes. If you are watching us on YouTube, please click that bell icon and subscribe so you can get notified as we drop new episodes. Same on Apple and Spotify platforms as well. Please give us a follow, drop us a comment, and as always, thank you very much for watching and listening.
If you or someone close to you needs to access mental health support, please contact your GP, or if it's out with normal office hours, get in touch with NHS 24 on 111. Alternatively, contact the Samaritans on 116 123. All calls are free of charge from any phone. You can also find more support information on the Tickety Boo website, ticketyboopodcast.co.uk.